Hello and welcome to a new episode of Victoria 3 A to Z. Today we are supposed to play Chechnya, aka the Caucasian Imamate. This could go pretty bad. You know, since we are completely surrounded by Russia, which kinda wants to conquer us, so I suppose we should start improving with them. And with the Ottomans, why not? Maybe they could protect us if a war is to happen. As for research, I'll go for a stock exchange, and then I'll probably make my way towards railways. We should probably try to do something about the gun shortage, like building an arms industry. But for that we'll need some iron, which we don't have. However, we have a logging camp, so let's at least get this one. Now let's also get some decrees, a bunch of them, and some taxes, although we don't really make a lot of money from those, so I might as well keep taxation low. As for politics, I noticed we're a theocracy. We are led by an imam. I mean, yeah, we're the Caucasian Imamate, what did I expect? I could switch to a monarchy, but no, I think I'll stay like this for the time being. Let's instead go for some religious schools as well. And then I'll try to get some corlos. There we go, we triggered them. And thinking about it, I might also want to expand the army a little bit. Now I just need to wait and hope the Russians don't go for me immediately. I only have 5 little units, which don't even have guns, but at least they got schools. And I had the luck to get a Democrat on the landowners, so that means I could get some appointed bureaucrats right now, without any opposition. I might want to bolster the landowners. I need to keep them strong in order to reform my economy. Whenever I'll get that market liberal. A modern conservative, there we go. An inspiration for our age. You will be in charge, but first let me pass this law. There we go. Now you can be the leader of the landowners. And we don't need to get homesteading. We already have it from the start. That's pretty surprising, to be honest. I was expecting serfdom. So let's instead just go from traditionalism to interventionism. I want interventionism instead of laissez-faire because this one doesn't have any opposition. And it also allows me to have greater control over my economy. And then we get a crop failure. That's pretty bad. We'll have to be importing some grain. From Russia, I guess. We don't really have a lot of options. Oh, actually, I just noticed we have a truce with the Russians for the next 30 months. So that's the actual reason why we haven't been attacked by them up until now. But that means we have 30 more months to secure some better relations. And they are now damaging. But they did just become cautious, and they stopped damaging. Okay, that's actually a pretty good sign. And the truce with Russia is over. But at this point I don't think they will attack us. But Circassia will probably not be as lucky. Interventionism has been enacted. That's an amazing development. Now the next step in our industrialization will be free trade. Okay, like I was saying, Russia is not playing around. They are going for Circassia right now. I guess I could join on the side of Russia. You know, to really show them I want to be their friend. So if I do that, their attitude will change to genial. That means I might be able to join the customs union. But that only if I have high enough relations. Which I don't. But I can at least get a trade agreement. That should help in improving our relations faster. Looks like the Ottomans and the Egyptians are also going to war. You just love to see it. And our war is over. Circassia has been fully annexed by Russia. And so were all their subjects in Central Asia. And because the war is over, they went back to being cautious. Well, that's fine, I will just try to keep improving. And now the Russians are also joining in on the war against the Ottomans. I could support them again. And if I do that, they will finally allow me to join their customs union. There we go. Now our economy will be doing way better. And being in the Russian customs union means we are basically safe from an invasion. Oh, and guess what? Free trade was also enacted. That means we got the end of core laws. And I would like to bring the rule of folk in government. That's because they want to get racial segregation, which is a bit better than national supremacy, I gotta say. Okay, and because we're in the Russian market, we can actually receive some migrants. And we are getting quite a couple of them. Okay, that's great, let's get the population up. We reached 100,000, and right now we're only receiving North Caucasians, so I expect the migration to go up once I get racial segregation, since I think I'll be able to also get Armenians and Georgians and whatever else. The war with the Ottomans is over, and my god, this is some of the worst border war I've seen in this region. Okay, so I was looking around, and the French Republic is in a civil war with the Bonapartist revolt, but the Bonapartist revolt is not led by a Bonaparte. In fact, the French Republic is the one led by Napoleon. Those guys revolted because they want to put a Bonaparte on the throne, but this guy just doesn't want to become an emperor, so that's pretty interesting. Okay, we're actually starting to get some other culture groups, like Ashkenazi Jews, and I got extremely unlucky with this law. Racial segregation has failed, although it was in the adoption stage. I guess we'll have to try again later, but in the meanwhile, let's get per capita taxation. Per capita is here. Now I kinda want to bring the industrialists in government. That's because they like democracy, so maybe I could go for census suffrage. I hope nobody will revolt. A revolt has happened, so the Ottoman Empire is long gone. Long live Turkey. Maybe they can fix the border war going on over here. Excuse me, what in the world is actually going on in my country? My landowners are led by a German. A German by the name of Otto von Bismarck. Yeah, this guy is the historical character. I have absolutely no idea how he ended up as a politician in Chechnya. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie to you. I guess that was his plan B if the German unification fails. Just become a politician in Chechnya. Railways have been unlocked. We really need some right now. But the bad news is that census suffrage just failed. So let's form another government. Like this one, for example. And again, let's try to get some racial segregation. Okay, now the migration is starting to get quite crazy. And I expect it to go even crazier, now that we have racial segregation. Now let me try to get the industrialists back in government. And I guess I'll try to get wealth voting. Democracy is now here. Oh well, now I should also get some poor laws, because I promised I will do that. And also by this point our GDP grew by quite a lot, so if we raise taxes all the way, we can actually afford one construction sector, so I might as well get it. And we got our first election, in which the Free Trade Party won everything, so I guess they'll be staying in charge. Poor laws enacted. Now I could actually bring the intelligentsia in government. Okay, let's try it. So what can we do with those guys? I guess we could try to get cultural exclusion. Okay, let's see if that works. It will probably not. Of all people, a couple Romanians decided to settle in my country. Okay, that will be interesting. And now we got Lithuanians as well. Oh, and actually we reached 1 million GDP. And we are number 2 in GDP per capita. Okay, and surprisingly we actually managed to get cultural exclusion. I think that's amazing. Now let's get this government in charge. And I'm not too sure what I can go for. Think I'll go for elected bureaucrats. Alright, that was extremely fast. Now let's maybe form this government. And let's go from peasant levies to professional army. And professional army just failed. So let's try to get a police force instead. A dedicated one. Bismarck will really like this. And now we got the Austro-Hungarian Technate. Okay, that's interesting. And this has been enacted. Now I can try to go for something even more important. And that would be public health insurance. Well, that was pretty fast. Now what else should I go for? I guess I could try professional army once again. And again this fails. Well then how about we try to get some secret police? But for that we might need the government administration. And guess what? Now we can establish our first company, which will be a textile company, looks like. It's just like the normal police, but it's secret. Well, now I think it's about time to change this government. Let's get the industrialists in here, so that allows me to actually go for a professional army. Or even better, I could go for national militia. That will allow me to mobilize up to 12 battalions. If I need to. But let's hope I don't. This is a bit better than peasant levies. Now I don't really have a lot of things I want to go for. I guess I could bring the intelligentsia in government. And I could try to get some census suffrage. Although there is a pretty small chance of this passing. And we got a new imam. And this guy is an industrialist. Okay, that's pretty nice. That gives me a lot more legitimacy for this government. And census suffrage failed, unfortunately. But for now I don't really have any other laws I want to go for. Or at least we can get a second company. And for that I would like the paper one. And we got the winds of change. Finally the Caucasian Imamate shines like never before. Yeah, I guess we're doing pretty well. Our economy is higher than it's ever been, and we keep receiving more migrants. And we finally managed to reach 1 million population. Isn't that just amazing? Now I once again will try to get census suffrage. I'm not going for universal because that will radicalize the industrialist. But census suffrage will only radicalize Otto von Bismarck. Oh no, Otto von Bismarck wants to duel this guy. Should we let them fight? Yeah, let's see it. And of course he wins! Otto von Bismarck is undefeated. And once again census suffrage will be failing. Pretty unlucky. Man, I just noticed in the last couple of years we've been getting a huge influx of Belarusians. And yes, our country is 13% Romanian. Also, look at this Slovenian uprising. I'm sure they're gonna achieve great things. And something very interesting happened in Central Europe. Hungary, Galicia, Lodmeria and Moldavia were released from Austria. That happened because they lost a war against Turkey and Russia. However, they gained Montenegro in exchange. Oh, and now they're also getting an uprising over here. Yeah, the Austrian Empire might just collapse. Now, once again, let's try to get this low. Oh no, the landowners want to rise up. But Bismarck is dead. This guy is the new leader. So that means those guys don't have any chance of doing anything spectacular anymore. And I just can't pass this law, there is no way. I'm gonna stop trying at this point. But now we got a movement to enact wage subsidies. And this one I think I might actually do. Although the industrialists are not too happy about this. But that's fine. There we go, we actually managed to get this wage subsidies. And we actually managed to reach 2 million population. Which is actually way more people than modern day Chechnya has right now in 2024. So I would say that's pretty impressive. Now let's take a quick look at the rest of the world. And you will notice that it's is full of border war. Egypt still owns those little bits and pieces surrounded by Turkey. Russia just took the state from Persia for no reason at all. Britain is just all over Asia, but not in Japan, although they have a very similar color. But those guys remain dependent. If we look at the Americas, we can observe some more border war, with Mexico owning California, and this state completely surrounded by the US. Also, I never seen this Mexican flag before. Other than that, South America is looking pretty normal, except for Argentina, which is split in two for some reason. Africa is still getting colonized, and the border war in Ethiopia is just as bad as everywhere else. Finally, Europe hasn't really changed much, except half of the Austrian Empire got liberated. Oh, and also Purple Spain. But anyway, let's go back to us, with 6.5 million GDP. And our population has also grown by a lot. Just look at all of those different ethnic groups. We have North Caucasians, of course. The Belarusians actually became the second largest group, with the Ashkenazi Jews coming up in third place. And now only 10% of our population is Romanian. Anyway, those are all the rules I managed to pass. Those are my institutions and my two companies. So overall we have done a pretty good job at developing Chechnya and keeping this very volatile friendship with Russia. So that's it, thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, not forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more Victoria 3A to Z, and I'll see you in the next one.